Thank you for your time. Where are you from?
I'm from Iran, Tehran.
So are you currently visiting or living here?
No, just traveling for a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. What brought you to Japan?
It was my dream destination for a lot of years since I was quite young. I always wanted to visit. I was just had this image of Tokyo in my mind, all the lights and all the people. So it was a number one bucket list destination.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned that you got interested in Japan in childhood, right? So what are some like reason, like anime, like TV program and so on?
Yeah, I watched a bit of anime when I was like in middle school. I still do a little bit, but maybe not as much. But yeah, I think Naruto was the one that got me into anime initially. And then I love the food. I love matcha and sushi and ramen and all the good stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you already try food here?
Yeah, it's my third day, so I've had a few things to try, but I still want to have a lot more.
For example, what did you try?
I tried ramen twice.
Ramen?
And I've had a lot of matcha, lots and lots. Maybe a bit too much.
So you're spending like 3 days here, during a few days here. Did you get some culture shock? Not only negative way, but also like positive way?
I think it's extremely clean. Everyone always talks about that, and it's really true. It's very clean. And then when I first came, I was surprised that there aren't sidewalks. There are like the paint on the ground that shows you like where to walk on the side of the streets rather than like a raised sidewalk.
Okay.
Yes. And then I think people are very kind and very kind of hospitable, and that's been really nice as well. Not as much of a shock. Yeah.
I heard before the interview that you are living abroad in Australia.
Yeah.
So did you get bigger culture shock when you started to live in Australia or when you come to Japan?
Ooh, that's a good question. Interesting. Maybe actually Australia because I was younger. I hadn't traveled as much. Japan, it's very different, but because I've traveled a bit more and I did more research, it was a bit more familiar maybe. Yeah.
Iranian culture, Australian culture, Japanese culture are probably very different each other. So could you tell me like some example which you found very different, you found surprising, like coming to like Japan, Australia?
I think Iranian culture, there's a big emphasis on politeness and hospitality. And I think in that way, it's a bit similar to Japanese culture. Australian culture, I think it's more, they're still very kind and very lovely people. But I think they're a bit more direct in those ways. And I think Iranians are very extroverted, I would say. Kind of very likely to talk with strangers. And I feel like Japanese people are a bit more reserved, so it's a bit different like that. Yeah.
Okay, so there are some similarity and differences between Japanese. They also prefer like keeping distance when they communicate with people.
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe actually Iranians do kind of stand a bit closer, and they're very kind of, when you know people, you're very likely to hug them quite a lot, and kind of, and when you're walking with friends, have hands over their shoulders and things like that. So maybe it's a bit different there. Yeah.
Okay. For example, like what is it like polite in Iran? Like for example, as for greeting, we don't shake hands. We just bow. I guess that it looks polite to foreign people. That's why a lot of foreign people say that Japanese are polite. But what gesture seems to be like polite in your country, in your culture?
Greetings in Iran. Men, when they want to be really polite and friendly, they kind of put their hands here and do like a little bit of a like this.
Okay.
Like I always see my dad do it, and kind of older men kind of do that a bit.
Not shaking hands?
Sometimes it's a bit more formal. It's like business. Like shaking hands, not so much like in informal settings maybe, yeah. And then women, we do the 3 kisses on the cheek, like that. That's kind of very friendly, polite type of greeting, especially for family, family, friends. And then I think politeness, kind of offering other people to go first, always sharing food. If you have something, you kind of offer to everyone in the group, and then have your piece. If there's like a little bit of food left, no one wants to touch it, because what if someone else wants it? So things like that, I think. Yeah.
What about eye contact? I asked about it to Westerners that they didn't notice much eye contact in Japan. What about it in Iran?
Interesting. I think like in metro and like public transport, you probably wouldn't like make eye contact, but in the street it's kind of a medium, like you wouldn't be staring at people would be a bit rude, but I think if you kind of make eye contact, it's not like a huge deal. It's kind of like, that's fine, yeah, but staring can be rude, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's same here.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so last question. What did you like the most in Japan?
I think I really, really loved Sensoji Temple and just kind of walking around that area. I thought it was beautiful and it was really nice. And then Shibuya crossing, I think it's such a touristy thing to do, but it was a moment when I was like, oh, I'm really in Tokyo. Like, it's what you see in movies. And I think Team Lab Planets. Yeah, that was amazing. It felt like a adult playground. Yeah.
So lastly, do you want to come back to Japan again? Or?
Absolutely, yeah. I already have a plan. I'm like, I didn't get to do this, and I really want to come back during like either fall or spring to see the colors. I think it would be lovely. Yes.
Okay. And it is much more comfortable in terms of it is not hot.
Not sweating as much.
It's very hot today, right?
Yeah, it is very hot.
Okay.
Yes.
It was very nice to talk with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Really nice talking to you. Really good questions. Yeah.
Thank you for your time. Where are you from?
I'm from Spain.
Spain. Where are you from in Spain?
From Madrid.
Madrid.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you traveling or living here?
I'm traveling. I just arrived a few days ago.
How long are you going to stay here?
I'm going to stay 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
Wow. It's very long.
Very long, yeah.
So today I'm asking foreign people about their trip, reason they come to Japan, and the impression of Japan and so on. Firstly, could you tell me the reason you choose Japan, you came to Japan?
Well, that was my dream since I was a teenager, coming here.
So what made you to dream about going to Japan?
Well, when I was a teenager, I used to watch anime. And I read a little bit of manga, and I love it. So that's the main reason that I fell in love with Japan. And I also started years ago studying your language also.
Are you still studying Japanese language?
No, not now, but I will. I will. I don't know, maybe here last month I can go to school or something.
Also, are you planning to study here too?
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, to study here, find a teacher, someone to begin again.
Do you still remember some Japanese words?
Not so many. Oh, what can I say? I don't know. Atashi no namae wa Paula desu.
Your name is Paula.
Yes.
Okay. So now I want to ask the impression of Japan you get here. So what was your impression of Japan?
My impression is that, well, we are in Tokyo and it's a huge city, but I also think that it's very calming city, you know?
Calm?
Yeah, it's not chaotic. It's quiet. If I compare to other cities that I've been, I don't know, my impression is that it's so good.
So even though it is big city, Tokyo is big city, did you think that it is not so noisy or something like that?
No, because if I compare with Madrid, there are a lot of cars in Madrid, and here I saw that not too much traffic. I think that's so good, not so much cars, not so much noisy, klaxon. I didn't hear a klaxon. In Madrid, we are always like, beep, 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 beep. And I didn't see that here.
So you mentioned a little bit about Madrid, and I heard that it is very noisy. People shout at the city when there is a game or football team. Like, is it true? How is it like when there is football games?
Yeah, we get crazy. We get absolutely crazy. We go out to the street, we shout, we scream everything, we go to the fountains, we get into the fountains.
Okay.
In so many streets, the traffic is cut, and we celebrate all the night, and yeah, we get very crazy.
Okay. Did you also get into the fountain?
No, not really. Well, I stayed near the fountain. I didn't get into, but we celebrated in a huge, in a big way. Yeah, we laughed too.
Okay. It was very nice to talk with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Where are you from?
Finland.
Finland.
Yeah, from Helsinki.
Are you visiting?
Yes, for 2 weeks.
What brought you to Japan?
I visited the neighboring countries. I've been in China and Korea, but I've never been in Japan, so I wanted to see. It's really famous, and everyone recommended me Japan.
Okay.
I have good food.
Good food.
Yeah, a lot of fish.
You are currently visiting Japan, and it's first time, right? So did you get some culture shock?
It's really quiet. Also, people are really well dressed.
Stylish?
Stylish and really clean.
Clean.
Everything is really, people are really clean. Everything is really on time.
On time?
Yes.
Okay.
Today I took a bus from Tokyo to Matsumoto, and the break was like 12:53. It's not like 50 or 55. And everyone was on time. That's just amazing.
What about in your country? Is it not on time? Train, bus?
In Finland, yes. It's similar than Finland that way.
I'm not so familiar with Finland culture and Finland. I don't have much information about it. So could you tell me what it's like in Finland, and do you find some like similarity or difference with Japanese culture?
I find the similarities is we are also quiet. It's also really clean, and I feel like things work really well in the society. We also but we don't have mountains. You have mountains.
You don't have mountains?
No, just really small ones, like 1,000 meter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it cold there?
Yeah, it's colder. Now it's not. Now it's warm. But our country is really long, so in the north, I think it's still like 2 degrees, so it's kind of cold.
It's still 2 degrees?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So even in summer, it's not so hot there?
Not in the north. Not in the north. South it is warmer, but not super warm.
Okay. During this trip, what did you like?
Bento box. I like the fish here. People are nice. It's so clean. The air is also really clean. I used to live in China, and the air is not clean. So I like that it's clean and quiet.
Lastly, what do you want to say to people who are considering to come to Japan?
I highly recommend it. It's amazing, and it's also really easy to travel here, even for like first-time travelers. I would say it's really easy. Yeah.
Okay, so it was very nice to talk with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
ご視聴ありがとうございました。いかがだったでしょうか。動画のご感想やテーマのご要望などコメント欄で教えていただけますと幸いです。たくさんのコメントお待ちしております。チャンネル登録の際は通知ボタンもお忘れなく。